The question didn't come with hesitation. It came with a strange calmness, like she had practiced saying it over and over in her mind. Daniel, my wife Claire said as she gently set her wineglass down. I want a night with another man. The quiet of our Friday night dinner shattered instantly. The steak on my fork froze halfway to my mouth. For a moment, I convinced myself I had misheard her. Maybe the sound of cutlery or the low music in the background had twisted her words. But when I looked up, her expression was steady, her eyes locked on mine, waiting, expecting. I didn't give her anything. Not anger, not pain, just silence. Inside, though, my chest was tearing apart. 9 years we had been married. 9 years building a home together, creating routines, sharing laughter that used to feel so easy. But lately, the distance between us had grown. Late-night girls' dinners that went past midnight. Her phone always face down, her hugs more like polite acknowledgments than the fierce embraces that once told me I was her world. I had been telling myself that this was just a season, that we'd find our way back. But those words, that one request, told me what I had been too afraid to admit. She already had someone in mind. This wasn't about curiosity or fantasy. This was about him. I set my fork down slowly, the weight of it suddenly unbearable. You want a night with another man? I asked, forcing the words out. She nodded, twisting the stem of her glass nervously. I need to explore this part of myself, Daniel. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It's just that I'm not enough. I finished for her, my voice low. She flinched but didn't deny it. I could have shouted, begged her to reconsider, demanded she choose me. But I didn't. Something cold and sharp rose inside me. I leaned back in my chair and said evenly, "Then you have 2 choices, Claire." She blinked, surprised, like she hadn't expected me to respond at all. "Choice 1, I said, keeping my voice steady. You walk away from this idea. From him. From whatever you've been imagining. You come clean with me completely, and we try to rebuild. It won't be easy, but if you're willing, maybe we can find our way back." Her throat bobbed as she swallowed. "And the second choice," she whispered. I didn't look away. "You go through with what you want. But if you do, Claire, don't come back. If you walk out that door to another man, you'll find it locked when you return. And you won't be my wife anymore." She stared at me, her lips parted, breath shallow. She had asked for permission to betray me. Instead, I showed her exactly what that betrayal would cost. The rest of dinner was thick with silence. My fork scraped against the plate. She refilled her glass twice. I didn't press her for an answer. I wanted her to sit in the weight of what she had just unleashed. That night we lay in bed on opposite sides, backs turned. Her breathing was restless. Mine was hollow. I stared at the ceiling, counting the hours, wondering if she was thinking of him. At 2 a.m. she whispered into the dark, "You're so calm. I thought you'd yell." I turned my head toward her silhouette. "Yelling won't change the truth. You've already been drifting away from me. I just didn't want to admit it." She didn't respond. Her silence was enough. 2 days passed. She was quiet, distant, her thumb lingering over her phone when she thought I wasn't looking. On the 3rd night, she finally said softly, "His name is Ryan. He's from work." I nodded, even though the confirmation felt like a knife in my chest. "He makes me feel alive," she whispered. "Like I'm seen again. Desired. I don't want to hurt you, Daniel, but I can't ignore this." Her words stung worse than a slap. Alive. Desired. As though my love, my loyalty, my devotion had never been enough. But I kept my composure. "So you've made your choice," I said. She shook her head quickly. "No. I don't know yet. I'm confused." "No," I said quietly. "You're not confused. You just don't want to face the cost of what you already want." That Friday she came home late. She smelled different. Avoided my eyes. My stomach tightened into knots. After dinner she finally spoke. "Daniel, I need that night. Just once. To be sure of what I feel." I stared at her, feeling my heart splinter. "And if you decide you want him more?" She looked down and said nothing. I stood and walked into our bedroom. I grabbed a small suitcase, set it on the bed, and began folding her clothes. "Daniel, what are you doing?" she said, her voice trembling. You've made your choice, I said flatly. You can have your night. But you won't come back to this house after. If you're willing to gamble with us, then our marriage is already gone. Her hands shook as she grabbed the suitcase. You can't just. I can. I cut in sharply. Because I refuse to be an option. I refuse to share my wife. She didn't leave that night. She cried, begged, pleaded, told me I was overreacting. Said it was just curiosity. That she still loved me. But love doesn't demand permission to betray. The next morning, I told her I had already called a lawyer. That papers would be ready within the week. You'd throw away 9 years just like that, she said, stunned. I laughed bitterly. No, Claire. You did that the moment you asked me to bless your betrayal. Weeks later, I heard from mutual friends that Ryan hadn't stayed. After all her pleading, all her risking, he had walked away when things got complicated. He didn't want a divorced woman with baggage. Claire called me one night, her voice breaking through the receiver. Daniel, I made a mistake. Please, can we talk? I closed my eyes, gripping the phone so tightly my knuckles turned white. Part of me, the part that still remembered her laugh, her warmth, wanted to say yes. But the deeper part, the part she had torn open with her request, knew the truth. Some things can't be undone, I said quietly. I gave you 2 choices, Claire. You made yours. Her sobs echoed through the line before I hung up. It's been a year since then. The divorce is final. I live alone now in the house that once rang with laughter. Some nights the silence feels unbearable. Some mornings I still roll over expecting to see her face. But I don't regret what I did. Because in the end, it wasn't me who destroyed us. It was her hunger for something she thought would make her feel alive. My only regret is this. That I loved a woman who could look me in the eyes and ask for permission to betray me. And when I gave her 2 choices, she chose the one that ended everything.